This customer has had the same noise that has been going on with this van for 3 years, and the dealership says no problem found. He has a massive book of records of things that even though they haven't found a problem, they're still charging them for things that they're trying to do to repair the noise that they can't seem to figure out. A bunch of money spent, no results. I think our team can figure it out. I'll get you some more details here. We'll dive into this, and then we'll see how quick we can figure it out. So I'm gonna call Donald here and see. Donald, a little bit of his background, if you guys remember, he has worked at Mercedes dealerships, so this may be a love-hate thing for him, but he has worked with this customer. This customer has brought us different trucks and things like that, and now has brought us this van to figure out. And I'm gonna get Donald out here. I haven't heard the noise, so I wanna hear what this customer is hearing, but I'm gonna call him, get him out here so that we can hear the noise. Hey, when you get a minute, will you come out here so I can hear the noise with you on this van and get some details?
Yeah, of course, got this thing.
Okay, thanks, man.
So it's coming from the driver's side engine area.
Okay.
Kind of comes and goes. Actually,
Really quick, I can hear it, yeah.
it usually does it when it's warmed up.
Okay, I can hear it for like a second when you first apply the throttle.
Like that?
Yeah. I can hear a little light ticking. Is that what he's after?
Yeah.
By the way, good morning, son.
Good morning. No,
Yeah.
so this particular customer, we've worked on his truck before, and now he's brought us this van. It's only got 96,000 miles. He's taken it for 3 years to different dealerships to figure out a noise, and he's got a massive booklet.
That's his whole history.
Oh my god.
Look at
Everything
that.
is tagged are all of his visits to the
I
dealer
like
for
this
this
guy
noise.
though.
So
I mean, I gotta like the guy.
yeah,
Holy smoke.
He's a cool guy.
How many miles it got on it right now?
96 and change.
96. He's been
Well,
dealing with
what's
this
it-
since like
Can't
66,000.
hear a damn thing out here with that the freeway.
Yeah, it is a little
noise?
easier. When it warms up, it'll actually start to resonate off the ground.
But they've done all of this and can't figure it out.
Done all of that.
Yes. Oh, I heard it there.
What do we got? We got
It
a whole.
sounds like a coyote.
It does sound like a coyote.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah.
Don't want to
So-
be our next door neighbor. That and all the noise they're making.
Yeah.
It would be better if I had it quiet. Yeah, take it back here.
You hear that?
Tell me you guys don't hear that tick.
Yeah, that. And so,
Is it in gear?
Yeah.
Just give it like load it up to about.
That's what the customer's concern is.
Yeah.
So you heard that with him.
Yes.
Okay.
It just
They
sounds-
listened to it and they told him it was normal.
It sounds like piston slap.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but usually that goes away. Is it worse when it's cold for the guy?
Worse when it's warm.
Worse when it's warm. Well,
Yeah.
it's not-
He hasn't really been able to narrow it down, but I found that it's worse when it's warm. So
I
now,
could definitely hear it when you were pulling around.
yeah. Now another symptom too is even when he's trying to go up a grade like these ramps right here, the engine loses power and falls on its face.
Oh, really?
But they replaced the turbo recently. They've replaced
Now, they
intake
replaced the
charge
turbo
pipes.
for a reason.
They found
My shoulders
a
guys,
loose-
help me out here.
They found a loose turbine hitting the housing, so, which I've found, again, that's why we're making oil coolers for these
that's
things.
The oil cooler, that's the problem. It's hot.
Yeah.
And then what else have they done mostly?
They found torn intake pipes twice, but what they keep doing to solve this guy's problem is they just keep cleaning the EGR valve.
Yeah, I want to load it up again.
Okay.
Okay, let it. Do you hear the noise that he's
Yeah.
complaining about?
Yeah.
Turn it off for a second. what we know about the van. How much weight's he got in it? Is this thing a full-blown camper in there? Because he's got these heavy he's got these heavy bumpers on here. It's an all-wheel drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's aluminum though.
Yeah. Well, it's still more than the car was built for. What I'm saying is, he's carrying a lot of weight. We know these engines run hot, and he's already had evidence that the oil has been kind of trashed on it, right? Because the turbo, what happened? The shaft wore out. Why the shaft wore out? Because we got oil temperatures through the freaking roof on this thing constantly.
Yeah.
Well, we've seen that with a bunch of Mercedes in general, even the same engine in the
manufacturer
ML.
knows that though because they're all built out.
I know. So we already know that problem. So he's had this noise for how long?
Over 3 years.
Okay, he might have damaged a wrist pin at one time or something like that, and you can do that and live with it forever and make that noise like that.
Yeah.
It usually piston slap and a cast iron block will go away as it warms up because the hypereutectic piston expands quicker than in the cast iron. If it was an aluminum block, you wouldn't have that. But you're saying it's worse when it's warmed up. That's a wrist.
Yeah, now that it's warming up.
That's usually a wrist pin. Now that wrist pin could have been damaged, a long time ago, and they'll just make noise, and that's the end of that. Again, this is all speculation. The only way to confirm it would be to tear the dang motor down and just inspect it all. I don't think I would do that if it was my thing. I would not do that. I would, first off, I'd do an oil analysis. I would see, because if you've got a wrist pin that's like galled or something, you'd have high levels of probably from the bushing. And I could be totally wrong too, and you might have high levels of something else. But the oil analysis would at least give you something. That would be a good start, and it's cheap, and I don't have to do any teardown on it.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, the fact of the matter is, he's absolutely a good candidate, especially with the new turbo on there, if he wants to protect that investment. He's a great candidate for our oil cooler.
Well, yeah, he's interested, but now he knows about the noise.
I would tell him on the noise, it's in the engine, and we could sit here and speculate about it all day long.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a few places it could come from. It could have a dinked, a rod bearing that got dinked, and just got a flat spot in it and making too much noise.
Yeah.
Could be a wrist pin, could be clearance on a pit. I mean, it's going to be something. Could be, but there's no way to pinpoint it except for removal and teardown.
Brian wants to go in and scope the cylinders, at least rule that out. And if those look good, then drop the oil pan. The point of that, and the customer does want that, is to provide some sort of supporting evidence to confirm that it is within the engine, because he's been dealing with this since the vehicle was under manufacturer warranty, that he wants to be able to have a case built for him. Because we can speculate that it needs an engine, but we need supporting evidence to back that up.
If you had a jacked up wall that was that bad, this thing would be smoking to get, and it'd be a misfire or something like that. So you might see something on a bore scope.
Something to weigh and factor, again, like Donald said just a minute ago, is when he goes up a grade, he has a significant loss in power.
Falls on its face. No one's been able to figure that out.
And no codes.
No codes. So the dealer's been chasing that issue because he's had this noise for a while.
So I think it's worth the investigation. I mean, there's not just a noise, there's also other symptoms.
So we're going to go through the glow plugs, I guess, to do it?
Yeah. I think the two issues are related.
Have you advised him the glow plug removal on this engine can sometimes be hairy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he knows.
All right.
So, and he knows that it would be a step-by-step process. We'll just start by pulling the glow plugs. If we don't find anything, then it would be good to drop the oil pan.
Well, I think we'd do a compression test while we got the glow plug. Let's just get that baseline too.
Yep, that's what I've quoted. So that's our.
But I don't want to drop the oil pan.
Okay.
No way. You got a girl down there. You're not going to see anything, and if you're going to see anything, you're going to see it in an oil analysis in the filter. Yeah. At the very least, I mean, we could pull the oil filter off of it, cut it open. I doubt if I'm going to see anything for.
Yeah, we already did. And the oil filter is new because they just replaced that turbo.
So how old's the oil that's in this now?
96, so 93. We've got 2,500 miles on it.
Yeah, I'd say we do an oil sample on it. We don't have to drain it. We'll just take a sample. Let's do a sample out of it. I run a compression test. Then, the compression, if you got a low cylinder, then that's the first one you're going to bore scope. Don't waste your time or your guys' money bore scoping the whole motor.
Okay.
We actually end up with a bad hole. But
So 3,000 miles ago is when he did the turbo.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, they did the turbo under a warranty.
guys, this is I'll say it real quick. This is real life stuff for a lot of people, especially this time of year. People coming through here with these sprinters, campers. We're like Grand Central Station for Yosemite and all that, and South Utah. And so we get a lot of these. When we see a real problem with these engines being maxed and taxed because their oil temperatures are so high, an oil cooler on these engines will not only save you money in the long run with repairs, but it'll give you a peace of mind that you can load up and carry weight and not have to be freaking out about oil temperatures over 270 degrees. I think you got the right idea. Let's just see where it goes. And
We're determined, man. He's a nice guy. He's followed Donald
this
here.
kind of a guy here. Look at this. This is a customer.
He's taking care of it.
You deal with a customer like this. This is who you want as a customer. Somebody takes a genuine interest in keeping their product, tip-top shape. That's
Well,
you
just
can ask for anything.
just the
about
fact that he's got serious symptoms that haven't been addressed, and he spent a bunch of time and some money on this. It's about time we get him some answers.
Half the time when the dealership did a EGR cleaning, it was out of courtesy because they couldn't find a problem. And when I was there, on this generation, it wasn't as common to clean the EGR valves as it was on the newer gen ones. Newer gen ones, yeah, you're cleaning them out once a year, but they're doing it twice a year. If you look at the records, so it's
Wow.
like it can't be that bad that he's losing power.
And then if they're cleaning it that much, I'm wondering, maybe he has no power going up a hill, but he doesn't have a DPF or a restriction code or anything like that in the exhaust.
Nope.
So go ahead and do the bore scope thing and compression test, and then
We're gonna report back.
There is some scoring here. You can just slightly see those lines. They're very superficial though, but I do see some scoring on this piston. Oh yes. They're minimal, but there's some scoring going on. Some scoring over there as well. Some little marks. Oh, that's really bad. Take a picture. Okay, so right there, that's a oh yeah, that's a really bad scoring. Yep, the knocking I was hearing, it is piston slap. It is when the piston basically slaps the cylinder walls, it shakes violently, and that causes cylinder bore damage. So this engine is toasted. That's probably why we see a lot of smoke inside. It's because oil is getting past the piston rings more than it should. Let me go and crank the engine over just a little so we can see better. See if we have a better visual now. We should do. Oh, okay. You see that? That's metal particles. Okay, so this one is the last cylinder. Oh yeah, look at that. Oof. Yep. There's a lot of metal shavings. Oh, there are actually pieces of stuff in here. Yeah, see, there's a lot of small pieces over there. Oh, yep. Look at all the metal. Yep. That's scoring the cylinders. Look at all that gunk. Alright, let's go get Miles. He might want to see this. Well, we have cylinders scoring almost all of the cylinders. And the farthest back cylinder on the passenger bank, there is metal embedded to the piston itself. So they never clean the intake, they never pull the intake manifold, the charge pipes, anything like that.
It doesn't say anything about that in
Yeah, it doesn't
report
say
either.
anything.
I read it.
Doesn't say anything, so they should have, because that's what we do here, like
Yeah.
they did on our sprinters. And now the second piston on the passenger bank, there's a pretty bad scoring all the way to the top, where it damaged the cross hatching on the block.
Yeah.
And the farthest back, there is metal on top of the piston.
Got it.
So you can clearly see that something was there, and the knock we're hearing is most likely piston slap.
Got it. Wow.
So
All right. Well, that's
not good.
no, that's not good at all. That's unfortunate. All right. So we have a lot to clean up. So he probably needs an intercooler.
Yeah,
Charge
intercooler, all
pipes,
charge pipes
intake,
cleaned.
manifold.
Intake.
It probably needs a lot.
If we do the engine, everything's gonna have to come out anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's gonna have to either be brand new or clean at
Got
this
it.
point. So
All right.
So besides the scoring marks, does every single cylinder have the debris on top of the piston?
not every single one of them. I
Okay.
found debris more on this side. I found some on the rear one here on the corner, but this side is by far the worst.
Ah, jeez. Okay.
So
Did the turbo come apart like we've seen some on
we
this?
don't
where-
know.
It doesn't specify in the
Okay.
report, but according to their report, the fins on the turbine did chip away and were making contact with the housing, which I've seen plenty of times when I was at the dealer.
Right.
So likely, I've seen some pretty severe ones, but they didn't specify how severe the thing
I mean, because if it's as bad as the other ones that we've seen where the turbo just grenades, then for sure that could happen. And I mean,
Can we pull the charge pipe and look in? We can pull the charge pipe or look in the intake or look in the intercooler and see if there's more metal.
Yeah, I
Can we do
can.
that?
I can pull the lower one right now.
That'd be great. We can just verify even further that that was probably the cause.
Okay. Give me 2 minutes and I can have the
Wow.
charge pipe out.
that's bad. What'd you say? Yep.
Yep, there is some shavies over here.
Oh, so are you in the intercooler or are you
Yes,
in the
I'm
pipe?
inside the intercooler.
Yeah, I mean, really, and I think you did the last few, Brian. Is when these turbos blew up, we pulled the intercooler. Did we replace the intercooler?
We simply replace them.
Yeah, because
Because it is
there's
too
no way to
risky.
flush it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no way to flush it.
And-
You might be able to flush the charge pipes.
Right, but you can see through those. The intercooler, you don't know if you got crap wedged in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, to those people saying, I'll play Russian roulette and just, I don't see anything right away, it's fine. If it blew up, dude, don't take the risk because it could suck into your freaking engine and
He asked
blast
the
and piston.
dealer if that was a possibility, if the failed turbo could send metal to the system and cause his motor to fail, and they told him no.
Which is
Just complaining about that.
which is crazy. I mean, if the customer was asking, you would think, even if they had to have the conversation like, yes, it's a possibility, but we can warranty the turbo, but we can't warranty that, you'll have to pay for it. At least the ball would have been in the customer's court that if he declined it, the risk is on him.
Yeah.
But if he did approve it, then it covers the customer's butt, and then the dealership makes some money just
Yeah.
because the customer is asking.
All the shiny stuff is metal, like very fine metal flakes over there. You can see some pieces all over here, over there as well on the corner top, over there, all on the bottom.
Wow. Because this thing was dusting and coming apart for a while. It would have tons of fine metal.
Yeah, that's
going
what
through it.
happens to them.
Yeah.
They just, dust until they come apart.
Wow. Good news that we're finding an issue. Bad news for the customer.
Uh-oh.
Yes.
Uh-oh.
So that's just some of it.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
That wall is junk, dude.
That's not even the worst.
Oh, no way.
There.
Oh, wow.
That's a pretty good scoring. It's on the second cylinder here. So,
Well, I didn't think, wow. Oh, jeez. I was thinking that couldn't probably be happening. But, well, the motor's junk. The dealer needs to put a motor in this. If they warranty the turbo, that's where that metal came from.
they did the turbo this year.
Huh?
And they replaced the turbo this year.
Yeah, just like less than, I think
few
it was
months ago.
2,000 miles ago.
And
Yeah.
according to Donald, they never cleaned or replaced the intercooler, intake pipes, nothing.
Oh, they didn't?
They didn't. That's why we have metal in there. They never clean anything. There is metal inside of the intercooler. Here.
Now that you said it, in my mind, I just assumed that they did all that.
No, they didn't.
Oh, That was a bad assumption on my part. I just really literally was, I kind of thought it, I remember now, I thought in my head, I was like, oh, they did the turbo, they did all that.
Yeah, that's what I expected as well, but it doesn't look like it.
Yeah. Well, the guy needs a motor. With this evidence, he should be able to go back to the dealer and have no problem getting him to warranty this motor. Nice job, dude. Good job.
Thank you, sir.
This is Dave at Dave's Auto. We sent you a link. There's a few pictures on there. Let me go to it too.
Yeah, I already looked at it. It doesn't look good inside, does it?
No, and here's the problem. You've ingested a bunch of metal through the motor, obviously, when the turbo went bad. I don't know what people are thinking, but it doesn't look, I didn't see it on your invoices. I didn't look too closely, but I didn't see where they took all the tubes and the intercooler, replaced the intercooler. None of that was done. Anywhere where the air was flowing through, you're going to just suck that metal in your motor, and that's what's happened here. This motor's junk. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. So,
You need to keep breathing on me here, Dennis. I don't want to lose you.
I think it actually goes back even before they replaced the turbo.
Oh, really? What? Well, tell me that story.
I've gone through all three dealerships here, and they think I'm the biggest pain because I keep asking questions and they keep giving me answers that I don't find acceptable. We had a terrible noise for a couple of years. I went through all three dealers and they kept giving me this was the problem, that was the problem, and it would go away a little bit, but it never really went away. Finally, one of the dealers, the second time round, discovered what the problem was. The problem was the hose that goes from the air cleaner up to the turbo was broken.
So you'd been sucking unfiltered air into the engine?
Yeah. And I said, isn't that a problem? Oh, no, it's fine. I go, that's a problem.
What I'll tell you, let me address that a little bit. Well, what do you do at that point is, I could see why they might say, well, it's not a problem because the engine's running, it's not blowing smoke, and blah, blah, blah. But is it a problem that you're sucking unfiltered air into any engine? Oh boy, I'll say it is. It'll dust the cylinder. We call it dust in the cylinder walls. And what I'm looking at, on teardown and assembly, I could see if that ever was part of the damage. But what I'm seeing and what I'm trying to show you in those pictures is such severe damage, and you can actually see the metal impregnated in some of the top of the pistons. It's laying, in the cylinder walls. The motor's just sucking metal through it.
So that was from when the turbo.
Yeah, I doubt if that's been in there that long. I mean, it looks like you had the turbo replaced a couple thousand miles ago.
Yep.
Yeah, so when it grenaded, it threw its guts into its intake system, which kind of makes its way around through the intercooler and then back into the engine. And that intercooler is not a filter by any stretch of the imagination. It's just a heat exchanger that the air flows through. And it's got pretty big orifices. And if you've got a little bit of oil residue, because when the turbo blows, it starts smoking and blowing oil because the shaft's all whacked out. And so you get that little oil film and some little metal particles, and it's great to ruin engines, but that's about all it's good for. And that's what we're looking at. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. I mean, of course, we could fix your motor, replace it, and do all that, but I think you got a pretty good claim here to go back to the dealer, and you certainly got some good evidence. But let me give you the highlights here so that you can go back there and get it done right. The highlights would be: listen, I'm assuming at some point you got some video evidence or digital photos or something of the blown turbo.
Yeah, they sent it to me.
Okay, so you have that evidence. Then it should be so simple to say you didn't do the job correctly. You didn't replace the contamination, and it just sucked right into my engine. It was a lack of thoroughness. Let me put it that way. It was a major lack of thoroughness to make sure that the entire intake system that had been contaminated by the turbo blowing up was cleaned and removed, and they didn't do that.
So that makes sense.
Yeah. Of course, if it gets ugly, you can bring up the fact that maybe some of this damage was also caused by unfiltered air. You got that turbo, and you see the spool, the impeller for that thing. It looks like a really cool little fan blade. Yeah. That thing can spin at 100,000 RPM, okay? I mean, they get going. So if you were to inject fine particles of sand in a compressor like that, spinning like that, what do you think that would do to the fins? It would deteriorate them. So that could have been the original part of what tore the turbo up. That engine is notorious for high oil temperatures. In fact, me and my son have developed an oil cooler for that.
I was looking forward to putting it on.
Well, let's put it on after you get the engine warranted from the dealer. Don't put it on this one because you'll just contaminate the cooler. But so that's kind of that is not good. That fails turbos. But with the information that you gave me, but this thing was sucking unfiltered air. That's like bringing dirt and sand into this fan blade that's spinning around at 100,000 RPM, and those fine particles of dirt are abrasive and they will deteriorate the turbo. So that might have been the straw that broke the camel's back, or started the whole thing, and then.
Yeah, who knows?
But who knows? But it really doesn't matter.
At the end of the day, I got a blown engine.
You got a blown engine, yeah.
If it was just a van that didn't have a lot of work or anything done to it, or I didn't have plans for it, or don't have a garage full of tools and 80/20, I'd probably just scrap it. But if you notice the van, I mean, I just upgraded the suspension.
Yeah.
The van compass. A few years ago, I did a big brake kit. I've got more money than I want my wife to know how much the lizard skin cost to put inside that van. Anyway, thank you very much for the time, and
so what we'll do is we'll get it back up. We'll get the glow plugs back in it, get it back together for you, and then you're gonna have to start that process with the dealer and the manufacturer. And all I can say is, may the force be with you, bro. Because
thanks.
I got a feeling that they're not gonna just lay down and go, oh, no problem, we'll get an engine in this next week. But let us know how it goes for you for sure.
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
Thank you for being so thorough. I guess producing content, and letting people know what they need to do to fix stuff.
Oh,
that's why we brought the dramming to you. Was because of your video. Hey, if there's something I can do to head off something like this, I'll do it in a heartbeat. That's why we put that Monster Ram on the Dodge.
Well, that's very kind of you, Dennis. You know, you're on point. You found out why I do it. I really want people to. I'm an engine builder, but I'm busy as crap building engines. I'd like to save people money so they can just drive their cars and trucks and get the real service life out of them. So thank you for that. And really, it goes to all the people that work here, like Donald, that you of course know, and all the other people here. They all do their best to do exactly what you pointed out. So thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, sir. Thanks for doing a good job of taking care of us and giving me the knowledge, because knowledge is power. So that's, like you said, may the force and the wisdom be with me. And
Yep. Good luck, Dennis. But hey, please circle back and let us know the outcome of this. I'd love to hear a success story. Okay, man. Good luck to you.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you. Bye-bye. See, I seem to get a lot of these because people don't have the knowledge, or even they lack the questions to ask, like, okay, how did this happen, and can we provide the evidence for it? I don't particularly feel like this is like the greatest part of my job, except that the truth can be kind of come out, and we can have the right outcome. Meaning, what is the right thing to do here? And I think it's obvious that in this situation, especially with failure not to clean the intercooler, replace it. I didn't mean to clean it. You don't clean the dang thing, you replace it. And then clean out all the tubes and all that. That was a big no-no. And of course, the torn intake tube from years ago, that didn't help things for sure, like we talked about. Anyway, I hope he has success.